Greetings everyone. Most likely each of you who is involved in cybersecurity has heard about the Evilginx or Evilginx Pro project. Everyone who uses this software knows that to install it, you need to have certain skills and knowledge of the operating system, Linux. Besides that, you need to understand a little bit the commands that this application itself has. I have decided to simplify the task for everyone involved, which means I will completely remove that command from the terminal. At the same time, I want to ensure we still leave those options available for parallel use so you can continue working without any disruption. In a word, I am excited to finally show you the powerful software I have personally created. With the help of this tool, you can effortlessly streamline your workflow. It allows you to automatically install Evilginx directly into your panel or your Linux server with just a few clicks. Furthermore, it gives you the complete ability to manage all of your phishlets efficiently through a convenient, user-friendly web interface. It really simplifies everything you need to do. Let's get started. Look, we have an installer here. We will install Evilginx with just one button on the server. We choose any state. For our infrastructure, I personally use Linode as our primary cloud provider. And when setting up our environment, we always make sure to choose the latest available distribution. Our program is designed to install and run smoothly, starting from Ubuntu version 20.04 and newer releases. We choose the server parameters. Let's write Evilginx. Let's set a password. And we choose the firewall, which doesn't exist right now. This is a clean, bare server. We click Create Linode. From the beginning to the end of this video, I will show exactly how you can install a full server, Evilginx, without using the command line. To start, we copy the IP of our server. During the demonstration, I will simply show proof, that is, confirmation that it's not just being installed on the panel. Besides that, it works perfectly. For this, I have a domain that will act as the attacker. And for this, we are replacing the domain on Cloudflare. So let's do an overview, and just in case, let's do cache purge. We are done with that. Now, while the server is starting up, I will explain to you. For those who don't know anything about Evilginx at all. Look, there is an official site, for example, that you want to hack. Of course, all this is for educational purposes. This is the original site. There is an authorization form here. Do you want to spoof this site using Evilginx? And at this moment, you first need to create a server, which we did. You need to configure the IP address and everything else so that your domain, which will act as the attacker, is redirected to your server in advance. This ensures that the setup is fully prepared for the simulation. And our attacking domain will be a bastion. Now let's go ahead and switch over into the console just to double check and make absolutely sure that our server has finished starting up completely. We see localhost login, which means the server is installed. We just need to open the folder that you download from GitHub and launch the project. The entire project has an open source model where you can look at every line of code yourself. Nothing is encrypted, nothing is hidden. And see in general how it works. The only thing we need to do is copy the server IP. The standard port is 22. You need the root user for this. We type in root and the password that we assigned to our server. When I click the install button, the server will install Evilginx itself. It will install the web panel on our server and everything will work. We click install and watch, and every process here will be displayed. The installation speed really depends on the performance of the server itself, and of course your own internet connection speed. I intentionally don't want to pause it so you don't suspect. Please be aware that any tampering with these elements will cause the system to operate exclusively on port 8443. It is important to note that this configuration is intentional. If we just try to access it ourselves right now, at the moment we have nothing on the server, you see. Excellent. It will automatically install all the necessary elements on its own, then proceed to install Golang itself, and finally complete the installation. The folder, or rather the Git repository itself, Commission Edition. After which it will open the control panel for us. For the control panel, it utilizes the Flask framework, along with Flask Socket I/O and a few other necessary requirements to keep the system running. At the moment, the system is currently in the process of uploading all of the necessary panel elements up to the remote server. As you can see, it installed it on the server itself, both the web panel and Evilginx itself. For authorization, we simply enter the data that we entered into our program, that is our installer. We authorize, and voila, our panel is fully ready for work. Let's go through the menu. This is the general dashboard where cookies, logins, and passwords will be displayed. Here are the phishlets themselves. Here is the standard example that comes included. The Git repository. Here is the configuration of the phishlet itself. Lures are the URL addresses. Besides all this, to make it convenient for you to manage your server, I added two more functions there. File Explorer. That is, you can not only navigate inside your server's folders, you can also open any file you like or need to replace. With a double click, this file opens as a text editor. You can make changes, save, and so on. And I also added services. You will see all the running services on your server. As you can see, there is a custom server here. This is Evilginx, meaning this is what we installed. You can view its logs, enable it. Here, look, this is the log of our server, how it was created, what it executed, and so on. You can enable, update, stop, and restart it. Besides this, of course, you can launch your own server. There are even hints here. How to name it, whether you can provide a description, specify the full path, the option to connect as a service, and so on. There are also custom filters available so you can quickly see the services you've installed and the ones that are currently running. There is a special integration to receive notifications separately for your Telegram bot token. Let's do that now, before creating a droplet and testing something. For this, you first need a bot ID. It's very easy to find in Telegram. Click Get ID. You get your chat ID. Copy the chat ID here. Next, you need to create a simple bot. Bot father. Click to create a new bot. Let's make it, I don't know what to call it. Okay. Now let's name it bot. Everything is great. We take our token, copy it and paste it here. And we can just do a send test to make sure everything is working perfectly. Save it for later. Now where is our... right. First, you actually need to navigate over to the bot itself and then click the start button to begin. Here is the test we were talking about, just to make sure everything is working correctly. The message arrived. Let's do send test again, and we see that the test message arrived, which means other notifications will also come to us. That's excellent. The next tab is sessions. Here you will see saved sessions, whether they contain a JWT, token, username, password, or just cookies. Besides all this, I left a terminal tab for those who want to work via the command line. But here, only those commands that relate to Evilginx work. Simple commands like whomi or others, they won't be displayed. See, there's nothing there. For this site, as I told you before, I created my own page specifically for the attack so as not to break any laws. This is my site. Just a symbolic login and password. After which, authorization to a random page, like a reports page, follows. Dashboard. Now our domain is redirected. Look here. Now, our attacking domain has been successfully redirected to point directly to our server. If you take a look at the address 122, you can see that is indeed our server. And moving on to the next step, we just need to go ahead and create our own custom payload, which is what they write in the script. But you are writing this yourself, I am doing it, they don't write. Let's make, for example, test secure, and it's already ready for me since I created the site itself on my own domain. We upload our own phishing page, but before that we delete the standard ones, that is what was there for example, and we click create. We have the phishing page. We take our phishing page, we click enable. Next you see we didn't type a single letter. I don't know, we didn't type any command in the terminal, we just selected it through the visual web panel. Then we go to configuration, do a quick setup and select our phishing domain. As I told you, here is our attacker domain. We copy this domain, paste it here, but you can also paste it here, though it's taken automatically from here, and we enter our IP. When we look at the address, specifically the IP address of our server, we should of course go ahead and delete all those unnecessary letters. It is absolutely critical that it remains in the standard IPv4 format. I'm going to leave it exactly like this, just as it is, so that our domain simply opens up directly without any extra subdomains getting in the way, ensuring everything connects properly. I'm removing the blacklist. There are several options here. I'm setting it to off, turning off the blacklist. Of course, you can choose other options as well. We click deploy. Once we click deploy, we see the name of the phishlet, the domain, the host name, the IPv4, and the URL address. And we need to restart Evilginx itself so that all the configuration takes effect. Look, you can restart from here, but I will perform the restart specifically via the terminal. Here, again, we won't be writing code, we'll just click restart. Because people who work with Evilginx, they see it, this panel is familiar to them. The standard Evilginx panel, as you can see. And now we finally have it starting up, just like that. TLS, certification. That is, the certificate is also included in the panel and in Evilginx, and it's ready to work. Let's go ahead and head inside now, so we can take a closer look and carefully check the final result of all our hard work. To do this, you can just take and type in our domain right here. Before that, I would just like to split it. There is a split here. Let's open a new tab and great. Okay, one moment. Let's take our domain and type it in here. As you can see, there is an immediate reaction. I created a test user. I'm entering their login and entering their password. And I'm clicking sign. As you can see, the login and password are already displayed here, but that's not a problem. Now we will see all this data through the service. Yes, and by the way, so I don't forget about this, we receive the login and password data separately as a message, and besides that, as a JSON file. That is a standard cookie file. We will return to this file a little later. I think, look, it's just a random page, and that's it. We can log out here. This page is not needed. Removing this. Removing it. This is our original site. Look, I'm refreshing it. Of course, there wasn't actually any authorization here. Because of that, nothing happens. Now let's go back to our dashboard. We see that we have one says 9 sessions, that is parallel sessions before authorization. For example, here one JWT token was recorded, authorization, we see API name, it says A, login password. Besides this, you can click on view to see more details, and in the same way you can do a download in JSON format. Why do we need this format? Look, you can copy this, go to the original site, simply paste these cookies via cookie importer, click OK and refresh the page. We will be immediately authorized on the original site. Now, Loris, we have the full URL file explorer and we need sessions. Look, several visits that are without cookies. They are also recorded for the log, but considering the cookies and JVC token, as I showed you, they are displayed here. You can set a filter for just JVC token or just with tokens, that is, with cookies and so on. You can delete unnecessary empty requests from the database itself. There are no problems here. You can do a complete clear database. Enter your database password, delete all, and your database is completely cleared. I hope that this program will simplify your task when installing Evilginx and interacting with it. Besides that, of course, as I told you, right, you can create as many as you like. And it is very comfortable to interact with them, edit them, and so on. There is one more nuance here. The URL address, that is the URL, we set it like this, a slash. This means that the domain will be the root one, that is, without any subdomains. Of course, you can configure here URL redirection, and its other parameters. Thank you very much for your attention. If there are any questions, I will be at your service. All the best.